Today we're going to trim Serenity's feet. They're very fuzzy. So I go back and forth between the methods that I like to use. I'll show you one way of starting with clippers and then kind of shaping with the shears, and the other way is just doing shears only. With the clippers, we have it on a 40 blade setting, and I'm just going to go straight down and also above the nails. Ideally, you would want to be doing this after they've had their nails clipped or dremeled, but I didn't do them, so sorry for that. We're not going to scoop them out like you would a poodle, but we're just going to go pretty much taking off the excess hair, careful not to take off these furnishings here. So I'm just going around. Going over those nails. Doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to go back in with the shears. And then a little bit above the paw pad on each side. This just saves time versus doing it with the shears entirely. Okay, so this is our foot after just doing the clippers. You can see there's still a lot of excess hair between the toes. And I can get even more if I pull with my fingers between the toes. So now we're just going to clean that up a bit. I just took a mini slicker and slicked that up a tad. You can go in with your curved shears with the feet on the table and just go with the curve of the foot. Feet are also going to be personal preference. Some people like the nails showing, some people don't. I go back and forth between what I like. And then I'm going to take this crazy hair and just with my curved shears go right above the toes. The closer you get to the skin, the more you're going to see the outline of each toe. So that's brushed down and then brushed up. Since we took quite a bit off, I can go in with my thinning shears and just kind of clean it up a bit. Put the foot down. You stand. Just make a nice, cute foot. Again, I'm just keeping my shear on the table as I go around. Okay, as we're going through, we can lift up the paw to see where we're at and take off any excess hair that's really sticking out. Between the toes and on the sides. You'll probably have to get up for this next part. Alright. Oh. These are what I call the flags. It's just part of the furnishing that hangs after the paw pad. You can kind of see on her, they're pretty long. So I'm going to go at least to the top of this pad and cut that. I'm going to go in actually with my straights and just clean that up a bit. While I'm doing that and have her paw up, also going to trim the inside of her foot. Just cleaning up whatever I didn't get before, and that's usually easier with the curved shears. Again, careful not to get the furnishings in the way. Just tightening that up a bit and cleaning it up. And then for the flags again, some people like them super short, some people like them super long. I kind of like them in between. I go in with my curved shears. You can sit. Take my curved shears, hold them with the curve down, and just start trimming carefully. I can go in and kind of straighten it out with my straight shears. And then fix any of my work with my thinners. The thinners are always going to be the most forgiving. We just want to make sure that they blend into the furnishings. And with that, we have a nice, clean, pretty foot. Made it even on both sides. Tidy this up a bit more. You can also go in vertically with your thinner just to blend it even more. There's that side. Okay, so this is our next foot that we're just going to do with shears. So I've already just brushed it up, and I can pull the hair out a bit so I can really see what I'm working with. I'm going to go on that side, sorry. Go. I'm going to start with my curved shears again. Just take out all that excess stuff between the toes. When I do that, I have her hold her foot up, or I hold it up for her. Then I'm gonna brush, brush, brush again. And usually I like to kind of start with the curved shear, or the thinning shears. If they're not helping you with their weight distribution, you can lift up the other leg. And with this, since we have a lot of hair to take off right now, you can be pretty quick about it. Be pretty fast, choppy. Then once I've gotten quite a bit off, I'll go in with my curved shears and shape it a bit. Now that we've done the top, you can clean all this out. When I'm not doing the clippers, I go in with my curves with the curve upright, facing me, or I guess away from me, like this. And I just go above the toe pads. Again, being careful to avoid the pads themselves and the furnishings. Then once I get it pretty low, I flip my shears around and go again and go towards the toenails. I know. You be patient. I'm also trimming on the sides of the toes and the foot to get that cleaner. Okay. When I'm done with the curves, I'll go in with the straights and just kind of tidy everything up. Make sure my lines are all pretty straight and everything's flush. But again, we're not scooping out the pads. Okay, I know. You don't have to film this, I'm just fixing. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing with the flag. You can start with the curved shears. I always find their left foot easier to do than their right, because I'm right-handed, and we want to make sure we're getting the hair on both sides with brushing it out frequently and taking our straights and trimming just above that big paw pad. Brushing out, going going in with the straights again. And then cleaning up with the thinning shears. Okay, good. So now we're going to do the hocks. We're going to pretend that this is all trimmed up already. Basically, with the hocks, they can get this really gross hair right above the toe pad, the big pad. So what I do is I just go in and start snipping away. I usually go about an inch above this big heel pad. I'll even sometimes just, if the dog will stand still, snip away. Especially for a dog that stands under themselves, meaning this leg goes under their body, I'll trim that even higher just to kind of hide the fact that they're doing that. She does have a tendency of doing that quite a bit, so that's why I usually go a little higher than some people would. And then to trim this hock hair, you can see it's pretty choppy. It's all different lengths, so I'm just going to make that a little more uniform. To start, take my curved shears with the curved going towards the ground. Make sure that their hock, this bone, is parallel to the ground. And I like to create a very slight curve. So after brushing up, I do a curve with my curve shear, with the shortest part of the curve always being near the big part of the toe pad. Then once I've done a little bit of trimming, I'll brush it up the other way, then flip my shears around and just do a little bit of corrective trimming. Once I get that to where I like it, or where it's a little better than it was before, if there's any harsh lines, oh, wrong shears, I can go again in with the thinning shears just to clean it up a bit. I'm going to take this in a little more. Brush both directions. If I need to, I can turn my curved shears in again. I'll usually let the dog adjust and stand however they want to after I've done my initial trimming, just to see how that looks. And I think that looks pretty good.